has been located. It happened, and archaeology has documented it. Chapter 19. And there came two angels, that's the two that walked off and left Abraham and God, to Sodom at even. And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. He was a judge there, all right? He had moved along pretty good, got important. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. I'm sure that the citizens trusted Lot, even though he was a stranger there. But I'm going to tell you something. When you walk in the mud, it's very difficult to keep from getting some of it on you. How did he find this position? Verse 2. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, unto your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. Now Lot knew what would happen if they stayed in the streets. Verse 3. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. So, I wonder how many cities you could stay out in the street all night in this generation in certain cities. Verse 4. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young. Even the teenagers participated in this. All the people from every quarter. I mean, there wasn't just one little part of town that practiced this. From all quarters, that means all directions, 5. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, Where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us that we may know them. Now, this is wickedness. And it's very difficult to understand, but perhaps Lot knew them better than we do. 6, and Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him, pulled it shut behind him. 7, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. 8, behold now, I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes, only unto these men do nothing. For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. Now, it's very hard for me to understand that. I know what I would have done to them. There would have been a scatter gun out each door, and there would have been a bunch of sodomites that would have headed for the hills in high gear, overdrive. Of course, they didn't have the good old guard dogs like Brother Smith and Wesson, that breed of dog, you know, that can really bark in that day. But Lot at the same time knew that his daughters would probably be pretty safe with that bunch, because they didn't want women, they wanted men. So Lot may have known them better than you or I might. I still have much difficulty. It is our nature to protect our women folk against cults, and certainly it would have been good to have clean cults at this time, be that as it may. Verse 9, and they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fella came in to sojourn, meaning Lot, and he will needs be a judge. He's a stranger here, and now he's a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them? And they pressed sore upon the man, being Lot, even Lot, and came near to break the door. I mean, they were ready to do some hurt here. trying to say, who do you think you are? You're not even a native here. You just passed through here and have worked your way up to a judge, but we'll do you worse than them. 10. But the men, that's to say the angels, put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut the door. 11. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, both the kids and the men, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. They're still trying. Even though they're blinded, they're trying to reach that door. Now that is real perversion, my friends. We'll pick it up in the next lecture. Our Father knows what happens. And one that does not find the love in their hearts to keep that is natural is a sad situation. And I know I may offend some, but there is one way that you can always rise above it. And that's in the very seed that would come from Abraham and Sarah, that is to say Christ. That in him is forgiveness for all things when you have that change of heart. We'll pick this up in the next lecture and see what happens. All right, bless your hearts. You listen a moment, won't you please?